Hey, y'all, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please double check, make sure you got the subscribe button and the notifications turned on there. That would help a lot. It says I've got 26,000 subscribers here, but I only get like 3,000 views, 4,000 on a video if I'm lucky. That's because nobody knows I'm posting, because the YouTubes don't put it out there. You know what I mean? So just make sure that you're doing that, because it's showing me that like 40%, 50% of the people that watch my videos aren't even subscribed, y'all. So please check that. And look, hey, Team Taco, if you're still watching this, look, y'all got problems going on, and you're not winning anything, is what I'm telling you. And that Donald F. and Trump, I do remember him giving one of them hate rallies that he did, and he told y'all, you're going to win so much, you're going to get tired of winning, And I've been sitting back waiting on some of that winning to go on. I'm like, well, if they're going to win, I'm an American too. That means I'm winning too. We're all going to win together. I don't feel like I'm winning, and I know you don't feel like you're winning. I'm sorry, you do feel a little bit. You get the warm and fuzzies and the tingles going on because they're doing roundups on brown people. I know you get that out of it, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not a hateful son of a bitch. I'm talking about, winning, average families and stuff out there, seeing some positivities going on in their world because of Donald F. and Trump there and winning. Ain't seeing it. Ain't seen it one bit. And seeing another thing that ain't happening, we ain't getting no Epstein list, y'all. We ain't getting it. And I know y'all are acting like you're mad at Krasnoff about it. I see y'all acting like you're mad, but you like blaming the wrong people, scapegoating and stuff. It's like, you can't blame him, because maybe he's all over that list. You know what I mean? So y'all having a hard time with that. Well, oh man, you're going to hate this. The Republicans doubled down and said, you ain't seeing no list, because they voted in the middle of the night last night to block Ghislaine Maxwell from testifying. Wow. Why would they do that, Team Taco? Have you asked yourself? You should ask yourself that. Why would the Republicans block that? Why would they do that? Now, I see y'all asking all the time, too. Well, Joe Biden had that list. Joe Biden had it right there. And if Trump was on there, he would have released that. That's what he would have did. That ain't the way the Department of Justice works under a real presidency that ain't up there trying to dictator himself up. See, the Department of Justice is an independent, it's an independent from the executive there. They don't just work for the president. It's not his private law enforcement force. That ain't how it works in real presidencies. Now, when somebody's fake ass president and trying to dictator themselves up, that's the way it works. Because Joe Biden wouldn't have been looking through no Epstein list and saying use this as a weapon. See, they didn't want to weaponize the Department of Justice. They wanted to make sure that they didn't look like they were weaponizing it, because y'all already thought that they were, and you were confused up on that deal right there. He's weaponizing the Department of Justice. What you was watching was the Department of Justice do its job. You know what I mean? It's like this. If the Department of Justice and the entire world watched a sitting president get a bunch of his supporters to go up to the Washington, D.C.s and smear doo-doo on the walls and erect a gallows and threaten to hang the vice president and take down the American flag, raise up a Trump flag, threaten to kill everybody there in the Senate and in the House, because he got kicked out of the White House because he didn't do a good job. Nobody liked him, He got kicked out. So if the whole world witnessed that was a big old crime, is what it was. And the Department of Justice saw it too. And they were like, we're going to have to do something about this. We're going to have to do something. And so they did. They sprung into action. They said, we're going to have to go after this dude because he just crimed right there in front of everybody, brazenly, Then was that while they were doing their job, they was like, wow, he didn't stop right there. He was working behind the scenes to get some fake elector scheme going and everything. Man, we got to charge him with some more crimes. He was just criming it all up, and then doing the more researches into his crime, and they found out he also called down there to Georgia and threatened their attorney generals, like, you better find these extra votes for me, or else, more crime. And then he stole some classified documents, lied to the FBI, and then tried to cover it all up. More crime. And Stormy Daniels there paying hush money to a porn star, and it wouldn't have been a felony had he not been doing it in the commission of another crime, which was trying to hide that from an electorate, which is election interference, So all of that crime made the Department of Justice do its job. It wasn't being weaponized. They were just witnessing all these crimes and saying, let's do our job. See, that's how it works. They're independent. Now, in Krasnoff's case here, what he's doing to you is he's using his Department of Justice to give you a shiny object right now because he don't want you talking about the Epstein files, And you can tell by the way that it is because he told you He don't want you talking about the Epstein files. He literally told you that. And then he doubled down there on Saturday with his Truthless Social post and said, well, I know at first we said there ain't no list. Now I'm telling you, there is a list. And it's all made up by Democrats. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, he's seen what he did wrong there, and he knows he's implicated all over it. Republicans are blocking Ghislaine Maxwell from testifying, so that tells you everything you need to know. So you need another shiny object. Well, he gave you one last week. You didn't chase it around in circles. You didn't chase his laser pointer. Nobody was too excited. Oh, goody, goody. He's going to go investigate James Comey. Wow, that ain't bigly enough for him. He's seen that y'all weren't chasing that laser pointer, you still want them Epstein files. And so now then he gave you a new shiny object just a few minutes ago. He went up on his Truthless Social. He's going to go after Adam Schiff. What he going to do? He's going to go after Adam Schiff now, prosecute up on him for some trumped up charges. You know what I mean? But the whole point in that is just to bankrupt Adam Schiff is what it is. It's so that he has to spend all his money on defending himself with attorneys and things like that. It's revenge is what you call that. It's revenge. He's using the Department of Justice as a weapon to get revenge on Adam Schiff because, that's right, he impeached him. He did. He impeached him. And the reason why that he got impeached, criming, is it was criming again. Go figure. He was criming whenever the first time that he was trying to extort the Ukrainian president, with money that the United States had already marked to go to Ukraine. He said, I ain't going to give it to you. I ain't going to give it to you unless you dig up dirt on my political opponent there. Criming. So that's why he got impeached the second time. And of course, insurrecting and stuff. So he don't like that Adam Schiff for doing his job. Adam Schiff was doing his job. He don't like that, So he's giving you another shiny object to go chase after. Y'all gonna bite on this one? Huh? You going to go run around and chase his laser pointer? Huh? Don't do that because it makes you look like pussies when you do that. All right. So anyway, that's the idea because he don't want you talking about this. And you know what else he don't want you talking about? Inflation. He don't want you to talk about the inflations too. The price of groceries rose by 3% there in the month of June. Hey, you felt it, didn't you? You felt it. See, that's part of that not winning that I was talking about. I mean, y'all were upset about them groceries and stuff. They ain't coming down, they're going up, y'all. That's the opposite of down. Well, it is the opposite of down. It's up. So thing is, now then, he don't want you talking about that either. You know what the economists and stuff are saying about it? It's because of his tariffs. If he had left stuff alone, what they're saying, and just let Joe Biden's economy there do what it was doing, we'd have low inflation right now. They'd be dropping interest rates already. We'd have done dropped interest rates a couple of times because the economy was doing so good. Krasnoff ruined it. He ruined it. So we got groceries going up. Everything's going up. Matter of fact, it rose like 0.3%. Now, I know you don't think that's a lot right now. Oh, it's going to get worse because he's doubling down on some more tariffs, making more threats and stuff, So anyway, I was just letting you know you ain't winning nothing. We're all losing because of you. And if you don't care about this stuff, well, then say so. I know you're gonna run away from the Jeffrey Epstein thing. You are going to because you have to. Otherwise, you'd have to admit that Donald Trump's covering it up. Therefore, he's probably on the list. Yes, he is on the list. So anyway, you're going to run from that. You're going to try to chase some new shiny objects, get all excited and stuff about going after Shifty Shift and all that stuff. But meanwhile, nobody's benefiting. That big, beautiful bill, what happened with it, huh? Tell yourself what happened with it. That's right. The rich got richer, much, much richer. And they took away all of our social safety nets there. No, we won't feel it immediately until after the midterms. Go figure that they would structure it in such a way that you wouldn't feel the suffering from it until you went out there like a dumbass and reelected them again. How about that? So anyway, while they're pulling a con job on you with the big beautiful bill that you're falling for and you think it's great for some stupid reason, they're also going in the middle of the night and voting to block Ghislaine Maxwell from testifying for you. Okay, that's what you Republicans are doing, Team Taco. It's about time y'all realize y'all effed up. Inmate Trump.